I'd wager that a good number of artists and ambitious creative people like myself spend a dreadful amount of time considering their legacy. How will I be remembered? What works of mine, if any, will carry on into posterity? Immortality through art. To give you a sense of time, if Shakespeare wrote Romeo and Juliet today, critics and all lovers of the written word would still be poring over its possible meanings in the year 2431 AD. If Plato uploaded the Republic onto the Kindle library this afternoon, political scholars would still be debating its efficacy in 4408, or as it's popularly known, year 92 after the pan-galactic battle of Gemini Centauri. Long live the Republic. The yearning for such immortality is no doubt a stupid enterprise, born of some combination of narcissism, insecurity, and the fear of death. And it doesn't even solve the real problem. As Woody Allen said, I don't want to achieve immortality through my work. I want to achieve immortality through not dying. Of course, the appealing thing about having your work live on is that presumably it's the best part of you, and history can graciously forget the rest. I want my as yet unwritten great American novel to achieve posthumous acclaim, not this picture of me and the raccoon that was apparently living on my head. Some things we want to be forgotten. Well, that's easier said than done in the internet age. In 1998, the Spanish newspaper La Vanguardia published a local announcement about the forced sale of a home due to outstanding Social Security debts. The property and the debts belonged to a Spanish lawyer named Mario Costeja González. In 2009, 11 years later, González didn't appreciate that even then, when you searched his name on Google, what you saw at the top of the results was this small financial lapse from the late 90s. Didn't he have a right for that information to be lost? González contacted La Vanguardia and asked for them to take the story down. They said no, so he filed a complaint with the Spanish Data Protection Agency asking for the paper to remove the story and also for Google to do the same from its search engines. The agency director rejected the request to the newspaper, but upheld the one to Google, telling them to remove the links and make access to that data impossible. After some wrangling and appeals, the highest court in the European Union supported the agency director's demand, saying that Google was responsible for the processing of personal data and that people had a right to erasure or a right to be forgotten. So what's your instinctive reaction to this? Maybe you feel a strong sympathy for decent people who are just trying to get out from under the shadow of the World Wide Web, who want their pasts to be private. On the other hand, do we want business people handling our money, for example, to be able to erase a prior bankruptcy, or a politician to delete some troubling behavior from the past? The problem with the EU court's ruling is that the boundaries for lodging a complaint are so incredibly vague and open to interpretation. The court only says that information which is no longer relevant or timely can be erased, but who gets to decide that? American legal scholars are confident that such a law would not be passed in the States, where free speech protected by the First Amendment is championed more readily than each individual's right to privacy, though both are precious to us. A recent Pew study found that 68% of American internet users believe current laws are not good enough in protecting people's privacy online, and 86% have taken steps to mask their digital footprint. Privacy is not a word that appears in the US Constitution. The right to privacy is a relatively recent concept introduced by Louis Brandeis in an essay in the Harvard Law Review from 1890. This question is really hard to work out. What effects do my demands to have this picture of me doing a keg stand taken off some random blog have on an open and free internet? It's not readily apparent, but when Google or Facebook are burdened with that choice at the peril of fines or worse, then the path of least resistance may be to say, just take it down. And I think we can all see the slippery slope in that. In the description under Works Cited, I'll leave links to educated opinions on both sides of this argument. The US and Europe are primed, it seems, to go down different roads here, and I can't say which is the right one. It's easy to choose between liberty and constraint, but to make a judgment call is much harder when two liberties are at odds with each other. There's so many things to read about this. If nothing else, check out Louis Brandeis' essay on the right to privacy. It is just a seminal essay in the history of law. Comment below or ask me anything on Tumblr. I'll put the link in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next Friday.